Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome to my Total War Warhammer 2 Ikit Claw Skaven campaign. The objective of today's video is to forge a Skaven empire, and the challenge is to take the city of Altdorf. We're going to be playing as Ikit Claw, Chief Warlock-Engineer of Clan Skryre, one of the most ambitious and talented Warlock-Engineers of his age, the infamous Right-Fang of Lord Morskittar, and the one true ruler of Clan Skryre. Ikit Claw is still one of the strongest legendary lords in the meta, and one of my favourite factions in Warhammer 2. Okay guys, welcome to the campaign map. Welcome to Skavenblight. We start off with Ikit Claw, of course, and a Warlock-Engineer just beside us. We are using some mods in this series. I'll put in the description below if you'd like to download my Skaven Mod pack. Mostly just due with movement and speed, and some graphical mods here. As you can see, some of the toxic warpstone waste going into the sea, which is a kind of a cool mod, changing the texture of that. So we're probably going to push straight down to Tarbo to start things off. We start off with 8 units here. Ikit Claw, 1 unit of Clan Rats, 3 units of Skavenslaves, some Warlock-Engineers. We've got a flyer there as well, and then our Warlock-Engineer. So we'll try and secure our territory in and around Skavenblight. Mostly my mods, deal with movement, graphics, and just to speed things up. I've got a slightly tweaked food mod because that can get a little bit out of hand as well. We've got some beastmen to our west, and we've got Telia as well. And we've also got Sartosa to the south as well, which we're going to be trying to focus on in today's episode. We are playing on Mortal Empires, of course. Okay. So, what edict should we go for here? Probably expansionist there. So we're currently sieging out Tarbo now. We're probably going to have to deal with the beastmen at some point. I want to go through Warp Lightning. That's still very strong in the meta. Adrenaline Rush and Second Wind are quite like. But Ikit Claw is just such a fun and enjoyable lord. Like, there's very rarely factions that sort of compete with Clan Skryre. So we'll fight this one. Alright, let's do a quick save and a hard save, which we've done. And we'll fight this one against Henry Weber. Okay. So let's start the battle. We have Skirmisher Supremacy. So they're going to probably try and cross the difference. We'll move our Warlock-Engineer up and along with Ikit Claw. We've got our Doom Flayers on the right-hand side. Just want to rotate in and around from this house. And already we're starting to skirmish them out a little bit from range. Okay, can we use the brass orb just yet? Not quite in range. We want to try and do that. Just like the missile style of Ikit Claw is so much fun. And I'll try and get some cinematic shots where we can. And we're absolutely rip-roaring through this Empire Storm sword unit. And hopefully there's the first of many more to come. Okay. So we'll allow our two lords to sort of tank and draw fire away, or potential attacks from our skirmishers at the back. And they're doing most of the work. Ikit Claw is going to be able to mostly tank everything. And our Jezels are going to try and snipe them off here as well. And looks like those spearmen on the left-hand side have already capitulated. So what we want to do is try and blob them up as much as possible. Now that they're facing away from us on the right-hand side, I'm going to swing in my Doom Flayers. But yeah, I haven't actually done a Ikit Claw Clan Skryre campaign on the channel. I have played as Clan Moors and whatnot, but they are one of the most enjoyable and unique factions in Warhammer 2. And here come the Doom Flayers here, about to go right into the behind of some Empire soldiers. And they're carving them up like carving a cake. So we should be able to wrap up this first victory, which is nearly inevitable with the decisive one. They blobbed up nicely. We're still skirmishing them perfectly out from the back. And that's what we're going to have to do for the majority of this series. We're going to focus on artillery and skirmishers. Not too much heavy infantry, which we don't actually have too much of anyway. Victory. And we win that one there. A decisive one for Clan Skryre. We lost 0 Skaven lives. Yes, yes. Yekshamish. Okay, so Henry Weber pretty much lost his entire army there. 3 units of spears. We do have this loot and occupy mechanic as well. We could maybe upgrade it slightly. I want to try and do that wherever I can. I don't think I'm going to be raising or expanding the Underway Empire too much. I think we want to just try and loot and occupy the majority of it for ourselves. But we've just got to keep in mind our food consumption. So 3, we're taking a risk, but then we get it to max. We'll just go 3. Okay, so we're going to continue pushing westward now after we've taken Tarbo. We nearly have East Elia under my control. Those beastmen disappeared anyway. There is a strat where you can like allow Skavenblight to essentially rebel and then force upgrade it to max level, but I'm not going to cheese that. I can't be bothered. Sartos is moving around to the south, but we want to focus on controlling East Elia. I don't want to go too westward because I want to focus going against the dwarves and the Empire for this. So we've actually been attacked here by a pretty decent host. We'll do a quick save and hard save. And this is probably our first real challenge of the Ikit Claw Clan Skryre campaign. 6 units of Empire swordsmen, some crossbows and cavalry as well. I'm going to need some Menace of Below to help us out in this one. Mainly to disrupt their skirmisher power, but we're a little bit unfavoured for this one, so it should be a good fight. So we'll continue to move Kite and Blob with our solo entity units. And once we're in range, we should want to try and neutralise that cavalry where we can. So some quick bombardments to start things off against their cavalry. Those pistoliers with those armor-piercing rounds are probably going to do most of the damage, so if we can get stuck into them, the quicker the better. Build-wise, there's a fair few ways you can go about a Clan Skryre Let's Play. Warlock-Engineer spam's quite good. Even Clan Rats if you min-max to some extent. But basically, projectiles and missile damage is always best to do. And you can also beef them up in the workshop as well. So those Jezels are starting to hit from range. I wish the Rattling guns had a little bit more range because they're so good as well. Okay, so at the back here, where those skirmishers are getting those shots off, those crossbows are getting those shots off at Ikit Claw, we'll allow our Clan Rats to go around the back and allow them to draw their short swords. We're going to be focusing upon sort of the southern realms, East Elia, Talia, and once we've got a bit of a footing and a foundation, we can go up against the dwarves, which are going to be a lot harder of a proposition than these southern realms. But then we've got Gelt to the north as well. He's going to be holding the pass, and then we'll strike for the Empire itself. We could drop a nuke on the Empire. Let's see. But Ikit Claw once again in combat. Got to be the MVP for this battle. Blobbing them up where we can. Because we haven't even used our Clan Rats just yet. Except for the ones from the Menace of Below that are getting a little bit surrounded here. Probably try and flank them. But they're just so cheap. Clan Rats and slaves. That's why they're so good. In order as whole, they can be quite potent. So I just need to concentrate. It's a little bit of a tough victory, this one. We should be right, but we are withdrawing there. Unfortunately, the Warlock-Engineer bit off slightly more than what he can chew. And Ikit Claw himself is only down to 40% health. We just need to allow it to continue these bombardments to keep going. Send in our Doom Flayers. It's probably time to push the whole army up, because the Warlock-Engineers routed and I can't afford Ikit Claw to. Okay, we're closing the distance here now. A little bit back and forth. Still 70% in our favour to win. But they've given us a decent fight here. Now the rattling guns are coming into the final third of this battle. And the Jezels. If we can sort of swarm with these rats, that's the best way. I'm curious to see in the casualties sustained and casualties inflicted who were their better units. I think more so their pistoliers and crossbows held quite well, along with their swordsmen, because they were actually a little bit decent from what we fought in the garrison. Yeah, hit them while they're running. They're pushing. Hey, we have victory here today. That was a close one. Crikey, mate. Another decisive victory. Yes, yes. So we only lost 242 in that one. Not bad. We only outnumbered them by about 200. And they lost 729. I would have actually been happy to lose about, I don't know, double my casualties and would have said it's a pretty decent victory. But we'll take that against East Ilia. Okay. So we probably can push towards their city now. We've got a secondary army coming up. Yeah. We might need to try and ambush and draw this army out, because trying to attack that with all these clan rats is going to be a little bit difficult when we don't have strong vermintide halberds, as it were. So we'll just try and maybe push an ambush. You never know, they might try and rotate out. Beastmen are now moving into the territory. Hey, and we got him. Good. So that will drag everyone out. Okay, so seeing as that last fight was close, this one's even going to be more crazier. Alright. Spam Menacer below. Yes, please. We'll do a quick save and a hard save. And we'll fight another battle here. So they're just sort of clumping up here. We'll try and skirmish them out where we can. Especially if they're sitting there, we can get a decent bombardment off. Boom! Chakalaka. Oh my god, that's probably wiped out a couple of units there. So there goes our nuke. And we managed to knock out 800 of them. Perfect. Fortunately enough for me, the topography of this battlefield is quite good. A lot of trees, a lot of hills. But we have managed to knock out a third of their army with the one nuke. We needed it for this one, because I don't know if we would win it otherwise. So we'll try and skirmish it out where we can. We do have another general to help us out. And let's try and get those clan rats in. They're not going to do too well in hand-to-hand combat against the crossbows. However, we just need them to disrupt those bolt rounds. That my boys are hard to miscast there. But I want to do more Warhammer 2 on the channel where I can. There's still a fair few more factions I'd like to do in, and especially for the upcoming DLC coming in December, which they announced. Okay, so we've actually got a decent elevation of high ground here. We'll try and skirmish that. Yeah, so go check out the French campaign if you haven't already. Live streams. Because all my live streams I do on YouTube, and they get uploaded as videos. But I also don't mind having edited episodical content here and there. Okay, so it's a lot more in our favour. Man, if we didn't have that nuke, I don't know how we would have gone here. But we're doing well just holding. We were fortunate enough to knock out 800 of their enemy soldiers. And particularly with the amount of ratty boys we have now, we should be able to swarm and engulf. Let's move those slayers around here. Rattling guns, Jezels, warp lightning. We haven't got any warp lightning yet though. But they're doing quite fine. Ikit Claw is tanking 2 units there. We eventually probably want a little bit of warp lightning. They need to be hitting them in the behind. Perfect, and we have victory here today. Yes, yes. A close one. Yeah, I'm not unsurprised. Really? 23? Oh, we probably lost more. of the menace of below. But now we should be able to take the city with impunity. Okay, I'm going to get a dominating scheme here, as we have a little bit of cash moolah. And Skavenblight can be upgraded as well. Public order and stuff there, that's always good. And we'll upgrade the clan barracks in Tabaro. Magritia, more like Magratia. Clear cut order as well, and yeah, I want to try and get my settlements to 3 if we can, but we might just have to go 2 here. I don't want to lose too much food, but we managed to knock out Eastilia, or Eastalia, however you say it. Barley. We're gonna go get Barley, dog, yeah! Brought Barley into the fold. Okay, so we haven't accessed the Forbidden Workshop too much. I think we'll upgrade our warp throwers and Jezels eventually. And what do we want to go through here? Because we've been spending most of our food on settlements. Armored clan rats is always good. I think going mostly down the left and center of the tech tree. Okay guys, welcome to the top of the turn. So I've skipped a little bit ahead because I wanted to rebuild my armies as we push eastward now into Tilia. We've also got 5 Plague Claw catapults with some warp throwers here as well. Okay, so they've actually come out and attacked me during the in-turn phase. Good, then we don't have to do the siege. But another crazy battle here. Have they beefed up the garrisons down in the southern realms? Mainly, but we're going to be able to use this beefed up army. So this is what I'm talking about. 6 Plague Claw catapults. I thoroughly enjoy them. They absolutely rip raw through enemy units. Okay, and I've also moved out most of those cheaper units. Now that we have a little bit of an under-empire economy going, we can get some clan rats with shields and spears. That's going to make up the most of our units. But we'll try and skirmish them out here as they try and close the distance. And our Plague Claw catapults are going to do most of the work for us. They brought in some warp lightning throwers. I want to eventually get rattling guns and more Jezels. But for now, as we have an ample supply of them, there's no harm in getting them in. Let's have a shot here. I've had to put it on slow-mo for this battle, just because the amount of entities. I want to get live action cinematic shots. Maybe I'm not the best with those. Just try and hit the clumps there. Yeah, we just need to make sure they blob up and don't get anywhere near those Plague Claw catapults. Because I do like them. I like them a lot. Very nice. I don't know why I'm like a Skaven Borat. Okay. So we're holding them down there. The main problem is their crossbows. Now that we don't have a nuke as well, after using it in the last battle. But so far our catapults are making very quick work of those crossbows. Very nice. Fantastic. Okay, that's what I want. I want to eventually, we'll try and neutralize this actually, because those mortars can rip raw through us. Oh, some of them fell over, really? I guess they had like weird momentum, alright. Try and neutralize them, because they could probably neutralize our catapults further at the back. Essentially what I want to do, I want to have such an effective skirmish artillery army that my infantry don't even really engage, except to like blob up. Man, oh man, this is menacing. How have I not played as the Skaven before? They're so much fun. Jezels and others further at the back. And our slightly upgraded clan rats can hold a lot more than those Skavenslaves. They've got more additional reinforcements coming up as well. But their skirmishers and crossbows that are sitting at the back have been massively outplayed. Especially when they're running behind. I want to make sure they get completely put out. Alright, try and pull back a bit here and we'll try and skirmish this up. There we go, perfect. So I've just withdrew my front line, my infantry front line that was engaging theirs. And now my Plague Claw is actually getting some shots off. Because it was just turning into a little bit of a stalemate here. And now my Warp Throwers are getting stuck into them. They should hopefully disrupt their infantry. Hey, perfect. Man, oh man, look at this! Oh my god, they're getting absolutely shredded. They're getting absolutely shreked in this murder way. Oh my god, those rattling guns. More mortars here we have to go back and deal with. Man, oh man, the battles we've had in today's episode, my god. So yeah, we've basically got Eastalia under our control, or Eastalia, however you want to say it. And then we'll go and try and take Tilia. And then we'll probably go against the dwarves. Confederation-wise, there's not too many Skaven factions near us. Victory. We have victory here today, but we want to try and run down as many of them as we can. A full stack and then a full stack garrison as well. Crikey. Let's eat the captives. Yum yum. Yes, yes. Oh, but enslaving gives them more. No, I think food and leadership will give us a little bit more. We'll have the leftovers to eat. Alright, let's auto-resolve this one here then. You lose a couple of clan rats, which is annoying. But so be it. Yeah, it's going to cost too much food. Okay, let's perform another rite. Probably the 13th scheme, or the scheme of doom. Let's get that Warlock-Engineer. We might even eventually send it to the Empire. Ideally. But we're doing well. They've only got one more settlement further in the south. Looks like the orcs are expanding in the mountains. So we have Ikit Claw, who's rank 8 here now. Rattling guns, catapults, just to name a few. We've got a secondary army here with a spam of clan rats. We'll rename him to Splinter. Ikit Claw and Splinter doing the business. Now, we've taken Tilia here, but it looks like a Vampire Coast army is just sitting outside there. Well, it's a Toaster army, technically. So, if we can do a little bit of damage on Salt Spike, that'll be good. But I don't want to push too far westward. We've got a really nice empire being built up. Once we knock out Sartosa, we'll be able to push up against the dwarfs there with Belagar, Ironhammer holding the pass, Gelt, and then we'll strike against the Empire. So we'll see if we can join a war with the Knights here, the Bretonnian Knights, and they're going to accept. Good. So now we can attack them without the penalty, but you never know. They don't really like us, Skaven. Most of the other factions. There's not actually too many factions near us. Clan Moors is probably one of the closest, but not really. Clan Spitter to the north. I think it's Spitter or whatever. Just up towards the north. Just a random one. But we'll get rid of Billy Bob Rayner. Okay. And we'll ambush him here today. Let's do a quick save and a hard save. So just some Sartosa Free Company, zombie pirates, and some feral bats, which could cause a little bit of an issue getting up over our initial frontline infantry, as we are very skirmisher, artillery, and range heavy. But we should be able to engulf the pirate scum here today. Yes, yes. Okay, so we've surrounded them. And we're just going to try and rain absolute hellfire on Sartosa. Unleash everything! I don't know if they get a movement buff, a debuff walking through the water there. But the warp lightning's going off. The Plague Claw catapults are ripping through the scurvy dogs. And once we secure Skavenblight and our sort of southern coast here, we're going to be laughing. So they seem to be swarming against Ikit Claw, who's on a Doom flyer there. I eventually want to get a Doom wheel. Yeah, they seem to be bobbing up, and now they're sort of giving chase a bit. I don't think they can arc their shots up against them, can they, those rattling guns? Some of the Plague Claw trying to snipe them out. So that's what's going to be the problem. Those bats, if they engage us. So we're going to try and capitulate the main army before they sort of get stuck in. The Jazzos at the back are getting some shots off there. But so far, this ambush is very much working. Oh yeah, they actually are arcing their shots. We haven't fought too many aerial entities in this. It just took them a little while to recalibrate. Yeah, so they can... Man, really, like, you can actually warp fire on like a 90-degree angle up. That's not cool. We're intercepting them aerially as well. But a surprise attack. A quick war against Zharr-Naggrund. Oh, okay, that's not good. Lucky Ikit Claw can hold his own. There we go, that's what we want. We got this crossfire going in against the mongrel dogs. Those rattling guns are ripping through Zharr-Naggrund like carving a cake. Or melting a cake, I guess. With like napalm. And now they're in a full retreat. I got 6 Plague Claw catapults because that's what I like. We eventually want to get more rattling guns and Jezels, but the warp throwers seem to be working for now against the factions we're coming up against. We've been smashing the southern realms and Zharr-Naggrund. It might be different against the dwarfs. Decisive victory will take that. 0-0-0, that's what I like to see. And unfortunately, good old Billy Bob has bitten the dust. And we'll get... Let's continue on the initiative. We might actually have to siege out Zharr-Naggrund. Nice little donut. Okay, turn 22. We're just outside Zharr-Naggrund with 2 full stacks. We are taking a little bit of replenishment. And we've been attacked here by Aranessa Salt Spike herself, who has a pretty decent Zharr-Naggrund Pirate Coast army. Some mortars there. Some bloated corpses and stuff. And some of that deep guard as well. So this is probably going to be our hardest fight here. The Vampire Coast is still a very, very strong faction compared to like the Southern Realms. Well, like we didn't have to fight against Beastmen. We'll do a quick save and a hard save. And we'll fight this one here today against Salt Spike. And then we should be able to secure our Southern Coast before we turn inwards into the old world. Okay, welcome to the battle map. So a lot of foliage here, which is unfortunate. So we might reduce our skirmisher effectiveness somewhat. Bloated corpses are going to be a problem. There's some crabs as well, and some aerial entities. And some pistoliers there. Alright, let's pull Ikit Claw up to get rid of those militia. And we'll swing around on the left-hand side. So we've got basically a right flank and a left flank, while they're sort of sitting in the center of this tree line. We'll try and skirmish them out where we can. But flanking is going to be absolutely key. What I'm mainly worried about is some of their aerial entities. Some of the bigger ones are single ones as well, and those depth guard. They do have a lot of agents here, but this is going to be a fight for the age. This is sort of make or break for the Skaven Empire here. Okay, so those bats have gone up and over, which is annoying. Because we've only got clan rats with spears mostly. We haven't got decent halberds just yet. They just cost too much and they're breaking. Okay, Ikit Claw's at about half health. He just needs to get those bombardments quick down and up. At the back there at those mortars, they're firing upon my ratty boys, my Skaven boys with impunity, so we'll try and get some stuff to do with that. Try and do a bombardment there. Against those crabs. Good! Oh, it's a bit of a miscast, which is a shame. But so far my clan rats, even against the depth guard, are holding quite well. Against their beast units, their entity units, not doing too good. Those depth guard are absolutely just going to rip raw through any of my units. This is going to be a real tough one. As long as we can out-skirmish them, we'll be fine. We've neutralized those mortars though, which is fantastic. Just New World factions are just so much stronger than the Old World ones. I'm getting a little bit close here to my Plague Claw. We just need to make sure we carve them up before they cross the distance. Ikit Claw's still holding out, but those bombers there are really hurting us. We've got rattling guns and catapults focusing further back here. That depth guard is still holding out. We're going to lose a lot of clan rat lives here today. But that's really what they were designed for, to be mostly cannon fodder, while everything else just tries to absolutely rip raw through the enemy front line. And we've nearly got him in a full retreat here. Got a little bit hairy towards the end there, but we were able to grind out a result against Sartosa. Victory! Far out, that was a close one. Crikey. A lot of fun. The foliage didn't help too much, but it wasn't too much of a reduction anyway. A little bit more annoying than anything. But Ikit Claw with another victory. Let's try and run down as many of the scurvy dogs as we can. Yeah, yes, yes. Yeah, keep it up. Get rid of the rest of that free company. Man, oh man, the range of those catapults is a little bit nuts. But now, with the defeat of Sartosa, nothing really stands in the way of Clan Skryre in the south. Okay, so we lost that Warlock-Engineer, which is actually really bad. Oh, that's the Warlock-Engineer we had from the start. Oh, that sucks. I didn't really fully comprehend that he's gone. Okay. Because those Warp Lightning Engineers are the best. But the Plague Catapult's still getting about 100 or so. Oh well. We should be able to take Sartosa now, even though losing a lot of casualties. Salt Spike has retreated back. And we should be able to auto-resolve this one out once we build some siege equipment. Or maybe we can just auto-resolve it straight out. Close. Clan rats. 4 were the casualties. And now Sartosa can be under our control. Fantastic. Oh, I've actually taken Sartosa. I guess I haven't taken Sartosa in Mortal Empires before. I did say that this was my first Ikit Claw campaign Let's Play on the channel. So petty. Order him before you. Loyalty shield. 15k. Or 1500 rather. What should we do with Splinter? I guess we take the hit. Alright, so we're going to be pushing north here. Oh, he was at 10 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Now that Splinter's back, we'll try and redo some of those banners here as we push north. Alright, so Sartosa's under our control now. Tilia. And we want to push here against the Greenskins. So Belagar owns most of the north. So we're going to be pushing against the Broken Nose clan. We've got Lightning Strike as well, finally. But we're pushing into Zharr-Naggrund. That's how you say it. Okay, I wasn't expecting to go against Greenskins. I'm surprised. Yeah, sometimes you never know. They can actually push Belagar and the dwarves quite back. So we've got incendiary rounds here as well. Put them on the Jezels. Alright, first battle against the Greenskins. Water resolved this one. It's a clear cut. There was nothing like the wars against Sartosa. So Zharr-Naggrund is now under Skaven Clan Skryre imperial occupation, as it were. And now we do all border with the border princesses. And then I guess we push up to the Barracks. We still want to try and take the Empire. Oh, there we go. Right, because that's where our other Warlock-Engineer is. Yeah, he was heading all the way up to Altdorf to try and, well, blow it up. We also don't want to get caught where we can as well. Sometimes you can get the RNG on it, but it is rarely. So you need to support it with essentially like anti-discoverability. Look, I'm not too fussed. We'll try and blow up Altdorf. That'd be quite cool, but if not, we'll just have to see how we go. There's a lot of mods like that are completely 100% guarantee it, but I kind of like the RNG, if I'm being honest. Okay, we're slowly but surely pushing to the border of Karak Buftar. I think that's Buftar. I think that's how you say it. So let's get the plus. I've already got the plus 10. Yeah, let's go with that. Chaos stirs. Hopefully we don't have to deal with chaos too much in this. Okay, my discoverability is a little bit too high. Oh well, so be it. Clan Fester, that's what it is to the north. Alright, let's push to the border here. So we're in striking range. We can probably get some Storm Vermin Halberds eventually. That's what I personally prefer, instead of just the normal Storm Vermin variant. But they're going to be able to hold their own. They're making 2k per turn, thanks to the occupation of Sartosa and the border territories around Skavenblight. Let's push into Belagar Ironhammer's territory. So we're technically moving into the province of the Vaults, and we'll hopefully try and bring them down. So, with Ikit Claw's army, I've reforged it a little bit as we skipped a little bit ahead. We finally got Halberd Storm Vermin. We've got some Plague Claw catapults as well. And we should be able to defeat this first army here. First time fighting the dwarves as we push into the mountain pass. We've managed to eliminate the southern realms. And now we push towards the dwarfs and the empire. So, Karak Isgor, but Belagar Ironhammer's in here with his a ghostly specialists, I guess. Dwarven warriors, some rangers there. Nothing too crazy. But let's do a quick save and a hard save, and we'll fight this one on the battlefield here today. Alrighty, so in the last episode we managed to knock out Sartosa of the Vampire Coast. Now we've got some dwarves. I'm curious to see how they hold up to the Vermintide. Okay. A nice, clear battlefield. So we'll push our Warlock-Engineer and Ikit Claw up. And we'll try and flank around on the left with my reinforcements. We'll allow our catapults to try and rain fire and death upon them. But as the dwarves are an old world faction, they're probably not going to stand too well compared to the Vampire Coast. They really held up against us. The Southern Realms fell quite quickly. But it should be a good one. They do have a decent amount of agent spam, so I've got to watch out for that. So we need to make sure these guys swing around nice and properly and flank. So we've phased out Clan Rats with spears in the main. I'm still keeping with my 6 Plague Claw catapults. Jezels and Rattling guns are ideal, but they can be a little bit expensive, and it's just like ferrying them over can be a bit of a pain. My buffed warp throwers from the start that we could get early on are still very much holding the army. But dwarves are probably going to be one of the easier factions we can come up against, unless they have crazy amounts of artillery, which Belegar Ironhammer fortunately doesn't have. A little bit of a rock in the way as well. There he is, Belegar, slowly but surely trying to cross the distance, while our Plague Claw catapults are raining fire and death upon them. Clan Rats further at the back, dealing with miners and crossbow men. They can't really hold on. And then we've got Splinter with the remaining Clan Rats that have been brought in. But as we push and secure the mountain pass, Balthazar Gelt hangs around here, so we will have a battle against him here today. It's really inevitable. We'll allow Ikit Claw to try and soak up this mighty unit, and the Warp Lightning is just going to do most of its work. He isn't quite on a Doom Wheel just yet, but here is the Warp Throwers on the angles, and they have just completely decimated an entire Dwarven unit. Yeah, they're just not mobile enough, and the Rattling guns are absolutely rip-roaring through them. Their agents have made their way to my catapults, but it's nearly null and void with my reinforcements there. Yeah, slightly move them a little bit back because the units that I was targeting now have moved back. So it's mostly just their agents there now. But so far we haven't got like the perfect ideal army build for my Skaven, but we're sort of, I don't know. Sometimes you can sort of sit and burn 10, 15, 20 turns and just get like the perfect army build. Or you can just sort of adapt, evolve, and slowly bring stuff in. Like, we had a lot of Skaven clan rats and slaves early on, then we phased them out for halberds. We brought in warp throwers instead of rattling guns and jezels because we haven't had access to decent ones of those just yet. But yeah, maybe once we get about 50, 80 turns in, we can have like the perfect army build because we're still pretty early in this campaign. We've done incredibly well securing the south, the Clan Skryre. And now pushing into the mountain pass could be difficult. But so far, if this is the opposition we're coming up against, they're going to be laughing. Yes, yes. Okay, so it's mostly their agents there that are holding out, but maybe try and focus all their firepower upon them. We might just need to wrap around and flank where we can. Sometimes when you have so many units like this, it's a little bit hard to micro because there's just so many. When you have like 20 plus units, some of them do sit idly by, but we're going to be hopefully trying to get rid of this missile specialist here, get rid of this ghosty boy. I don't know if they specifically have missile resistance as ghost entities, but it seemed like he was holding out a little bit more before we targeted absolutely everything on him. Just got to be a little bit careful of the crossfire there because it could be clipping some of my dudes further at the back. But their agents are doing quite well against my halberds. They're holding there for now though. He's now gone. Perfect. And you got to give it to Belegar Ironhammer. He has held out a lot longer than what I would have thought. So we should be able to hold him here in place as the halberds swarm in. But you never know when you push into the Southern Grey Mountains. Sometimes the Broken Nose can dominate it, so you're slugging your way through greenskins, which probably would be... Well, the thing is, right, we've been quite fortunate because the dwarves haven't spammed artillery. If they had a bunch of organ guns and cannons to actually go toe-to-toe with our artillery, but like if you make the dwarves like a skirmish-focused faction, they can be quite potent. I do have my dwarf series. If you haven't gone and watched it, highly recommend it. We play with a lot of mods to make them a little bit more competitive compared to the New World factions. which is just so fun and enjoyable. But Ikit Claw is trying to run down Belagar. We'll just bring in some clan rats here from Menace below to just try and blob him down, because we want to try and get him to get his unique buff as a legendary lord and try and give it to Ikit Claw. But I'm surprised they're maintaining at the same pace. Come on, just shoot your little zappy stick at him. Belagar, come back here. Yakshimesh. My Skaven voice and my Borat voice are a little bit the same sometimes. Yeah, but there are other... Yeah, there's a king there, isn't there? He's the only one with access to these ghost units. But they still seem to be doing quite well, holding out. I might need to pull them out, actually, and allow our missiles to have a crack at them. Because they don't seem to be breaking. So we'll pull the halberds out, and we'll allow... we might have lost a catapult here, one of them. Yeah. Get everyone to hit that. Because our halberds are just getting a little bit rinsed. Pull back, please. There we go, that's what we want. Oh, imagine being that poor little halberd. Oh no, he's managed to run away. There we go, that's what I'm talking about. People bash on warp lightning throwers a lot, but situationally, they're the way I tend to play my battles. Seem to be working out quite well, but obviously there's better quality units if you can get them. Like you'd want Jezels and rattling guns if you had a choice. Probably more so on multiple. Oh my god, friendly fire! Move back! A little bit of a bait there. Pull, pull, pull. Maybe a... There we go. That's... Oh, I missed. Please do take into consideration I'm not the best Warhammer 2 player. Especially going from like Medieval 2 to this. Like I don't consistently play the one Total War. I hop and change all the time, so miscasts and misplays are a lot. But maybe I'm just being pedantic. Anyway, victory. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Alright, let's end that one there. Decisive victory as well. We've upgraded the rattling guns and the warp throwers. We could build a doom rocket because we haven't had one in quite a while. We might need one against Gelt. We'll just have to see his army build. Let's perform a right. Yeah, because Gelt could have a bunch of Hellstorm rocket batteries and you never know. Okay, we're pushing up to Fort Sol now. In the Winter Teeth Pass. In the Black Mountains. Couple territories, but we should be able to siege this one out against Gelt, wherever he is. I thought he'd be hanging out here in the past, to be honest. He does have that under his control. Okay, let's build an Under Empire silo to get more rocket capacity. And we'll build another Doom rocket as well while we're at it. Okay, 38 turns into the Let's Play. We'll push into Solad now. Yeah, oh, is that Gelt? Yeah, there he is. He's pushed up to Wislenberg. Or Wissenberg. Anyway, we'll take Fieldorf. I think that's how you say it. A lot of vampiric corruption there. Hopefully we don't have to face them. That'd be annoying. But we've pushed through the pass. And we want to try and intercept Balthazar Gelt, if we can. Okay, so we've taken Pilsdorf, and it looks like, for some reason, Balthazar has caught himself between two rats. Anyway, not the best army build, but we'll fight this one here. Yeah, I think he's just at war with a lot of factions. Oh, this has been reset, so we're going to have to redo this. But we've ambushed Balthazar Gelt. Probably him in the... Yeah. I guess him in the old world is probably one of the very few mages that can sort of stand up to our warpstone capacity, our sort of warpstone machinations with his magic. But we'll deal with Balthazar Gelt. Okay, just absolutely rip-roar everything into him. Fortunately, we caught him in an ambush. I don't know why he doubled back there. We did have to trespass on Festa territory, but they're not going to mind too much. Absolutely unload everything. Rattling guns, warp lightning. And we've got a decent battle here for the ages. Balthazar Gelt going toe-to-toe with Ikit Claw. Balthazar on his horse. Gelt. Yeah, Gelt on his horse. Ikit Claw on his Doomflayer. Yeah, we just carved through Empire units. They really just can't withstand the Skaven onslaught there. Let's try and send the metal head of Balthazar to girlfriends if we can. And already, they're mostly in a full retreat. Probably swing my Doomflayers around if we can. Man, oh man, they have absolutely capitulated here today. I know they had like so many negative debuffs because it was an ambush, but those warp throwers were in like the ideal situation for a Skaven ambush. Perfect. So once we secure the Southern Grey Mountains and the pass, we should be able to push into the Empire's territory, Visselen, Solland, and then Reichland eventually. There's a couple ways you can go in this Skaven series. I wanted to focus on the Dwarves and the Empire once we secured the South. You can push over to the Badlands now if you wanted to. You might have a decent challenge against the Greenskins, then eventually like confederate up with Moors, but as much as I love Mortal Empires, I don't like to do full map completion. I only like to do short campaigns and then move on to something else. Pushing into Bretonnia is probably a lot easier. Oh, maybe not actually. Empire is actually quite a like the Empire's fun to come up against. Probably easier now. Like mainly the thing that can annoy these heavy artillery spam armies is aerial units, so Bretonnia has a lot of them. Oh, this poor witch hunter there is absolutely copping everything. Oh my god, my screen is so green. This poor witch hunter. Where am I? All I see is green. Oh my god. That's why I love Clan Skryre so much. They're such a cool and unique faction. There's like no one that compares to this aerial artillery skirmisher spam. 11 food gained, and Balthazar Gelt has bitten the dust. Give me that shiny metal helm. Yes, yes. And so far, we've taken out Salt Spike, Gelt, and Iron Hammer. Alrighty, so after the victory against Gelt, we probably should push down here and maybe finish them off. Splinter I've sent south. Oh, okay. I thought he might have needed another army there, but I just took the risk on the auto-resolve. I don't know why they have that territory. Isn't that usually under dwarf occupation? This Karak? Maybe. I don't want to go pushing too far into Thorgrim Grudge Bearer's domain. Last thing we want is that. I'm sure with the capitulation of Ironhammer, there's a couple grudges there. And Karak Kurin, we could go for. I have no ambition of pushing that way in particular. Same with the vampires. Alright, so this is what we currently occupy with Clan Skryre. We've got a really nice Skaven underway empire, as it were. We're strength ranked 3. Vampire counts are 8th. And yeah, no one really else is dominating too much of us in the old world. So we'll push up to Solland. So we're slowly but surely pushing up into the Empire's territory here. Still continuing to build our Skaven Empire. It does look like Reichland have moved up an army there, but they might be at war with Wissenland. I'm not entirely sure, but we're probably going to have to push into them. Clan Splinter there's pushed up as well. There's even some green skins and roaming hordes, which we have to watch out for. We'll push into Wissenberg here. We want to try and keep amicable relations with the vampires. Oh, finally as well, Ikit Claw has a doom wheel, so that's good. But we'll try and siege out Wissenberg here. We'll do a quick save and a hard save, but our army is looking on point at the moment. So we should take Wissenberg here with a decisive victory and a clear-cut order resolve. And we'll loot and occupy and build it up where we can. Okay, the Empire for some reason has pushed down south after taking Null. Yeah, I think they were at war with Wissenberg, so we'll probably play this one. Our first battle against Karl Franz's armies. It's an ambush, but two units of Reichsguard, some handgunners. Maybe the greatswords could deal with some damage that we don't want in order resolve. So we'll fight this one. Rickard Hammerhelm. Let's hammer in his helm, I guess. We've got 2 nukes though as well, so we should be able to use them against Reichland. But yeah, we're going to be having the Battle of Wissenberg here today. Our first against the Reichland main faction. So it's an ambush, so we should just want to try and rain hellfire upon them. Warp lightning, catapults, warp throwers coming in, and Ikit Claw is testing out his new fancy toy, his doom wheel. Yes, yes. We need to focus on the Reichsguard there, because they can cause a little bit of an issue, but we've got a lot of regiments of renown here now, focusing on the great swords. And if they can clump up to Ikit Claw, that would be perfect. It's on a hill, so it's not doing too much damage. But if we can sort of throw back every single army that Karl Franz sends up, we should be able to siege out and take Altdorf, which would be perfect. And then that's the main objective for this short series. I want Altdorf. There's a fair few ways you can sort of expand and conquer in this. Maybe pushing into the Badlands is a little bit more harder now against the Greenskins, but you do have the added bonus if you can conquer it. We need to focus on those handgunners here now. Oh, they're retreating now, which is perfect. Like allying up with Clan Moors. Bretonnia can be a little bit difficult. I sort of wanted to go against the Empire and the Dwarves. Go northward. It's a lot more interesting, in my opinion. You could set sail after you take sort of out some of the Pirate Coast factions. Maybe go over to Ulthuan. Be the sort of third wheel, or the fourth wheel, and sort of that power struggle between the Druki and the High Elves, and sometimes Count Noculus goes there. But Hammerhelm is just getting absolutely shreked here by Ikit Claw. And a clear victory against our first battle against Reichland. Run him over. Flatten him like a pancake. Oh no, we ran into a tree. Nearly full on Austin Powers it. We can't quite get enough speed to knock him over. Yes, yes, I'm stuck. You sure one of those, like, massive spikes would run him over? I don't know why we're, like, running at the same speed. Anyway, decisive victory, 41 to their 500. Yeah, so it was actually the handgunners and the Hunts general getting a little bit of damage on us. But so be it. Okay, so we're going to push into Nuln, then Grunberg, and then Altdorf. There's 2 stacks further at the back. So if we can take this in an order resolve, that'll be good. Yeah, I'm surprised they sort of didn't ally up with Wissenberg, but I don't know. Sometimes the Empire fights between itself, which is probably going to be at their undoing. However, they've still got 2 full stacks at the back, so overall they probably had more armies than me operating. Yeah, and they've got the Altdorf garrison, which can be quite crazy. It's actually Volkmar and Karl. Okay, we should be able to take Grunberg now, but as you can see, good old Mr. Splinter, Master Splinter, has a Rat Ogre. So that's going to help him out massively. I actually don't mind Rat Ogres. They're not too bad. Especially if you spam a couple of them, but look. The Clan Skryre unit roster is quite good. You can't really go wrong. Okay. You can min-max this a bit, so maybe upgrading our rattling guns is probably the best play. So we got more of them than the Jezels. Okay, so we've taken Uber's Reich. We'll move Splinter down to Grunberg. As one of the armies pushed to Ilhart. We don't want to lose the territory we've just gained, so we'll move Ikit Claw down to Ilhart. And we've actually got a battle against Karl Franz. I didn't know if it was Volkmar that's pushed there, but Karl Franz has moved out with a roaming army. And we're going to be able to fight the Emperor here today. Only rank 8 to our 22. We want to try and bring as many men as self-belows as we can. But if we can defeat Karl Franz in the open field, it's going to make us so much easier trying to take Altdorf without a full second side. So quick save and a hard save done. Let's fight this one on the field here today. It's a battle for the ages. It's a battle against the Vermintide. Ikit Claw and Karl Franz go head to head. Okay, so on the left-hand side here, we've got our Jezels, rattling guns, and then we've got a front line of Plague Monks and Storm Vermin mostly. Plague Claw catapults in the second line, which are now Silver Chevron. Got some bombardments here as well. More regiments of renown. These guys are going to be awesome because they can arc their shot over the top, very much like mortars. They're going to act like in this particular battle. We've got Ikit Claw on his doom wheel now, leading from the front. We're still only 50 turns into the campaign. We are heavily rushing against the Empire to complete our short victory conditions that I've set out. But let's start this one here today. We've done well against Empire-centric factions, but now with the Emperor, who probably can stand in hand-to-hand combat with Ikit Claw, is going to be difficult. So he's only on a horse, so he's not on his griffin. Karl Franz and Ikit Claw are going head-to-head. We want to try and take out as many of them before they close the distance against us. We're at a stage now where our infantry can actually hold quite well. Before it was a little bit iffy with our slaves and stuff, but I might have just slightly miscast that. That could have been so much more perfect. But so far our army build hasn't been countered. The best that sort of did it was Sartosa of the Vampire Coast. Had a lot of aerial stuff, but the main things that would probably be against us is artillery, which so far we haven't come up against too many of it. Like a perfect, like a multiplayer build of Empire and Dwarves would probably go toe-to-toe with this Skaven build. Especially if you had a lot of Hellstorm rocket batteries and cannons and organ guns and whatnot. But the more we can disrupt before they hit my front line, the better. But this is huge. This is make or break. If we can win this here today, it's probably won us the series. He's got a lot of armies hanging in and around Altdorf, Karl Franz. I'm surprised he's pushed out, but he's kept Volkmar the Grim further at the back, defending Altdorf, which we're probably going to have to deal with. So far, the Empire's front line are clashing on mine. And they seem to be holding for now as well. And they're starting to slowly cycle charge those Reichsguard. But the longer this battle goes out, the better for us. They're blobbing a lot of units. They're blobbing like 6-7 around Ikit Claw, which is perfecto, if I do say. We are at 60% health there because he's battling with Karl Franz and a couple of units there. So we need to sort of make sure those missiles don't hit him because he can be a little bit fallible to missile resistance. It's sort of cost and effect, isn't it? You make him a single entity unit, he's better in combat, but however, he can get hit a lot more on a Doom Flayer or a Doom Wheel. If he's on a Doom unit, that can be a problem. But, oh, he's actually broken there against Karl Franz. Crikey, this is the first time Ikit Claw's broken. Level 22 as well. I think it's just because of those armor-piercing missiles that are hitting us. He's not fully gone. He might be able to get back in, but we're going to win this one. We're 80-0, but wow, Ikit Claw's actually broken. We're going to have to pull him back. Yeah, that's Karl Franz for you. With Gal Moraz. And they're trying to hunt him down there as well. So what I want to try and do with this is get my Storm Vermin to get a little bit stuck into it. I like the halberd variant, just in case big entity units come. They're pretty decent holding, rather than the normal variant. I just prefer the halberds. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. Yeah, but it's their skirmish units out of the back that are sort of hurting us a little bit. But one full stack gone. We've probably destroyed half their armies already. It's pretty cool that they're actually taking the initiative to stop the Vermintide. They're not sort of stacking and sitting back and just waiting in Altdorf. They're actually aggressively trying to hold and pin us back. As I guess Karl Franz would have heard word of the Southern Realms falling. Just no correspondence or love letters from good old Belagar and Balthazar Gelt. But those Reichsguard are still holding here. We've got a pretty good angle. I don't mind sometimes using the catapults because it can be quite effective, especially with I can't even remember what they're called now. The greenskin catapults. Doom launchers, whatever they're called. There's so many names for units, you can't remember. Close victory though. We've managed to beat Karl Franz here today. We only lost 400, but we've managed to knock out him and 2.7k. We're actually outnumbered by quite a bit there. But we're going to be able to take Ilhart now for Clan Skryre. Yes, yes. Now, yeah, we've nearly taken all of Reichland. Marienburg we border with now, though. Okay. So it looks like Volkmar's now pushed back. We're only at war with Reichland. We're strength rank 2 now after gobbling up that Empire territory. All that remains is the Altdorf garrison and Volkmar the Grim inside. We have 2 full stacks in operation, one with Ikit Claw, the other one with Splinter and his Rat Ogre, of course. We've nearly got Reichland fully under our control. Balthazar Gelt has bitten the dust. Belagar Ironhammer, Salt Spike in the Southern Realms. Ikit Claw has quite a scalp and trophy collection, let's say. We've got another army just south, and we've got a 4th coming up from the Southern Grey Mountains, but this is what we currently own. So Volkmar the Grim has actually foolishly moved out here, and we're going to try and intercept him. We do want to try and get that Regiment of Renown there with Splinter, so we'll push him in. And we'll use Ikit Claw as reinforcements there. We're slowly getting rid of the clan rats and bringing in halberds. But Splinter now is ranked 12. A very decent warlord. But let's get stuck in into Volkmar the Grim. Now, he's actually probably got the best Reichland army build that we've faced. I guess, yeah, maybe after the defeat of Karl Franz, they've gone out and finally got some Hellstorm rocket batteries. A lot of handgunners and Reichsguard as well. But they can't really do too much of an ambush. So welcome to the Battle of Grunberg. Let's make sure we get all our shots off here in the ambush. And we might even be able to shoot here, actually, with ourselves. Boom, chakalaka! So, the Vermintide has finally reached Reichland. Our warp throwers, a little bit of clipping there, but I just want to absolutely try and gobble up and annihilate them where we can. Send in the clan rats and storm vermin just to blob them up before Ikit Claw and his plague claw catapults and his skirmisher supremacy army come in. But the age of men is over. The age of the rat is now coming to flourishing. Alright, so it's going to take a little while before Ikit Claw can actually get all the way over here, but he might be able to get some aerial attacks off. We do still have some nukes in the bag if need. But I think Splinter should be able to decimate this army before we push up. But the Altdorf garrison will be quite large, so we're going to have to deal with that. And then we've wrapped up our short victory conditions. I don't like going for map completion on Mortal Empires. Actually, we probably should we waste it? No, we probably should keep it for the Battle of Altdorf. If you want to try and nuke them out. But yeah, well, we could hit it there. We could like just for the meme and then get a little bit more later on. Yeah, why not? Let's drop a nuke. Here we go. What is that noise? Boom. Perfect. 2-3 units. And this should surely claim us a victory. Rat Ogre going straight at Volkmar the Grim. The last bastion of hope. Balthazar gone. Karl Franz gone. It's all left to the Grim. Surrounded by halberds and rat ogres. He mustn't hold too much longer. Surely they're just about to capitulate. Ikit Claw is slowly but surely revving his doom wheel up the hill. And before he could get there, we've claimed a victory with the second army. Perfect. I guess we'll just try and zap out those Reichsguard. But we've been incredibly fortunate beating the Empire's army on the open field 2 times now. Well, 3 times technically. We've won 3 major victories in total against the Empire, specifically. We lost 340, Volkmar the Grim deployed 1.4k, and his army really didn't stand a chance. Decisive one. And now we should be able to push against Altdorf without an army inside, which makes things easier. If they stacked around, it would have been difficult, but there's still a large garrison there. Alrighty, let's push towards Altdorf now. Yeah, it's just going to take too long to actually blow it up. I would have liked it to, but we went there, what, turn 1? We might have stuffed around with it a little bit, but that's alright. Maybe it was turn 15 or 10, a little bit longer, but he's been there for quite some time. Alright, there we go. Griffin Knights, mortars. So that army's quite decent. But the Skaven, the Vermintide, has reached the steps of Altdorf, and we'll try and siege them out where we can. There's a wizard there as well. We want to try and get some menace or blows. We could actually attack it, because we do have a rat ogre. We might not need siege equipment. But I think we should. We've got a bright wizard, halberds. Okay, turn 58 in the Let's Play. Skipped a little bit ahead. I would like some more Doom rockets. But we've only got 2. We've built siege equipment now. And we're going to have the siege for Altdorf. We've got some siege towers and a battering ram. But this is make or break. The finale. Can Clan Skryre under Ikit Claw take the seat of Altdorf and forge our new capital? Make this our new Skavenblight, let's say. It's a wet, dreary looking day in Altdorf. The heavens have opened and the rats have come out to play. Kind of fitting, I guess. When it rains, all the rats come out of the sewer. So we've got a battering ram, 2 siege ladders, a lot of catapults to neutralise anything up on the walls. And it's a just before sunset as well. But there is the mighty capital of the Empire, Altdorf, the last bastion of hope for men. And we should be able to finish Reikland once and for all. There's the observation tower. Sigmar has forsaken them. The age of the rat. Imagine all this stuff we can melt down and use for warpstone. Let's push up to the walls. And let's hit them and hit them hard. Be relentless and ungiving, will be victorious. Now, we do have ladders with our halberds, so we should be able to deal with that. But already our artillery is hitting theirs. As a capital, they do have their own mortars and towers and stuff. So a lot of young Skaven are going to lose their lives here today, but for the Battle of Altdorf, it's going to be worth it. Griffin Knights, Bright Wizards, hand cannons in the defense. The Bright Wizard's already trying to hit us there with a flaming head. Oh my god. This is it. This is what we've been waiting for this series. The flaming head did hit a couple of our catapults, but they should be firing at will now. The Plague Claw, one got taken out, but we still have 6 remaining. Once we get into the streets, we should be able to carve them up quite well. The more we can neutralize on the walls, the better. Shame no one's sort of holding the city. Volkmar, Balthazar, Franz have all done tremendously well, but no one could stop the Vermintide. So at the back here, we do have some menace of below, so we actually can neutralize their mortars that are hitting us. They're probably going to get absolutely shredded by those Griffin Demi-Knights. But this is the finale here today. If we take Altdorf, we have completed my short victory conditions that I've set out. I tend to upload midnight in Australia, 1 o'clock-ish, afternoon UK European time, lunchtime on the East Coast, early morning in the West Coast on the US. The enemy gates have been destroyed, and we're just trying to massively disrupt their town square. If we can get all of these clan rats and storm vermin, get the Vermintide into the city, we'll be laughing. So try and get up on the walls where we can, and just try and swarm and take Altdorf. Ikit Claw's in the city now, and we're slowly getting our infantry in as well. But they've got a last-ditched epic defense here in the town square. Hopefully, Ikit Claw can disrupt it with howling winds and whatnot. Just absolutely rip-roar them. Here we go. Ikit Claw and his Doom Wheel is getting held back by Reichsguard and Demigriff Knights. While Storm Vermin push in. We didn't get all of those mortars, but they are very potent in defense. Splinter and his Rat Ogre. I would have loved him to sort of break down the enemy gates, but he's taking a little bit longer to get in. We've got some more menace from below here. They should be able to disrupt those mortars. You gotta be careful. Sometimes they roll back and actually deal a pretty decent punch. Oh, those Reichsguard have been Johnny on the spot. That's why they've been able to survive so long. But Altdorf is nearly about to be the new seat of the Great Plan for the Skaven Empire. Excellent stuff. we absolutely managed to neutralize their soldiers with our catapults there. That's why I like them so much. Like, ideally, I would have liked more Jezels and Rattling guns, but my warp throwers have been so potent in this. They're still viable, depending how you play, along with the Plague Claw catapults. We have victory here today. The Vermintide swarming the streets of Altdorf. Just what you'd like to see. So we did lose a decent chunk of young rats. 600 or so, but we've managed to take the garrison. Victory, and yeah, if we can make it that'd be perfect. Like tier 4. And Altdorf has fallen to Clan Skryre. And the crazy Warlock-Engineer, Ikit Claw. Unfortunately, guys, it is time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already with the bell notification on. Let me know in the comment section down below feedback and suggestions for the video, and feel free to leave a dislike. If you want to support the channel and follow me on my social media links, they are all linked in the description below. We've got the series playlist that you can access. You can also have a look at my gaming and recording equipment. If you want to get yourself some cheap games, check out the links. You can support me on Patreon if you want. Channel members are available. Use creator code SimpzyTotalWar on the Epic Games Store checkout to flick me a couple of bucks. We've got Twitter, Discord, merchandise, Facebook, Steam group, Instagram, Twitch, and Google Plus links all in the description below as well. But above all, guys, make sure to take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic rest of your day. My name has been Simpzy. Much love from Australia. Goodbye. Mwah.